Hi to everyone, welcome back to the Vijitha Rajkumar Anand classes for the MPSW Medical Health Fitness and Vocational with the Bridge Course online video classes. Today I would like to give some of the important questions in the subject of the zoology for the BPC, regular BPC as well as the intervocational with the Bridge Course second year students, okay, as well as intervocational, like it may be MPHW or MLT or physiotherapy for those students also. This subject is maybe helpful for those students, okay. Intervocational first year students in the course of the MPHW in the subject of the health promotion, like MLT anatomy and physiology, okay. Next physiotherapy and anatomy and physiology. Intervocational for intervocational first year students, as well as this subject is useful for the inter vocational second year by PC second year students, okay. Both the students also are useful. I hope these videos may be helpful. After long back I would like to upload this video, okay. Sorry for the, so in those days I didn't submit the videos for sorry for that. So today I want to continue the classes, okay, regarding some of the important questions in the subject of the zoology and as well as the anatomy and physiology for the various vocational first years and second year students, okay. This is only for the English medium students. So let me see the one by one. So this is the unit third B, neural control and coordination, okay. If you see that this overall this consisting of the nervous system. Overall the nervous system with the unit will be coming to the consisting of the neural system and nervous system, okay. If you see the introduction about the integrating network of the ultimate biocomputer, okay. So the nervous system involved from the basic non-polarized nerve cells from a diffuse nerve set as seen in the diploblastic organisms to highly organized integrating system within the think tank, okay. Brain also it is called as a think tank. So many impulses, so many, like it will receive the impulses, it will give the signals to the all over the body parts. So that is the reason it is also called as a think tank, okay. And so the mainly the brain containing the 100 billion neurons controlling it in the brain. So it will consisting of the how many 100 billion neurons will be there over the brain, it will controlling it. So man has came to know more about its headquarters of the nervous system, okay. This is the head of the quarters, okay. Different parts of the body will be there, no? This it will control over the hand of the brain. So that is the reason I call it headquarters of the nervous system. With the help of the functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI technique, okay. So mainly if you see the three-dimensional map of the brain's functioning can be obtained with the FRI computer. So here the mainly if you see the like a query them with the specific task we perform in our daily life, okay. Different way will, okay, we will do the so much of activity will correlate with them specific tasks. Sometimes we have performed in our daily life, okay. So mainly the nervous system has connecting cells called neurons, okay. Nervous system, the nervous tissue has connecting cells, it will connecting the cells, those cells called as neurons and supporting cells and glial cells, okay. The nervous tissue has a connecting cells called as like a neurons, supporting cells and glial cells will be there, okay. The system mainly controls the body activities by receiving stimuli, okay. The not only receiving, it will processing them and reacting to them by sending motor signals, okay. Here the receiving stimuli will be there, okay. Motor signals will be there, it will receiving automatically. When you will receiving the signals from the particular part, it will going to the processing, and after that it has to be reacting to them. And how will react? By sending motor signals from the brain to the body parts, okay. Among the vertebrates, the nervous system reached the peak of evolution in the man. So especially here neoplasm will be there and corpus callosum. Okay, here the so different will be there. So here the overall, if you see the nervous system from the basic non-polar cells apart from the diffuse nerve set of has seen the diploblastic organisms to a highly involved integrating system within the think tank, the brain. Okay, overall this nervous system from the basic non-polarized nerve cells forming a diffuse nerve set, nerve net. Okay, this is a little bit introduction, no need of worry about this introduction. So let me just see the mainly, if you see the nervous tissue cells having a connecting the both the three cells will be there like a neurons, supporting cells and jail cells. So here the mainly the nervous system is receiving the stimuli, it will do the processing and it will reacting them after how will it be reacting them by sending the motor signals to the different parts from the brain. Okay, so this all if you see that like in this gray matter will be there, corpus callosum will be there. Okay, left-handed people. Okay, like different people will be there in species according to their coordination, according to their location of the parts. Okay, so next coming to the, so if we'll see the introduction about the, so if we'll see okay, the functions of the organs or organ systems in our body must be coordinated to maintain homeostasis. Okay, so here the functions of the organs in our body, so many organs will be there and organ systems will be there. Okay, the mainly, so the different systems will be there. The systems will do the different coordination among all the body parts in our body, isn't it? So here the functions of the organs, so like different according to the systems, the functions will be variations will be there. Like a heart is a different function, like a lungs it is a maybe different function, like eyes different function. Okay, so overall these different organs, the according to the location of the organs, the functions will be maybe variation will be there. Okay, okay, if you see the, as you know everyone, the functions of the organ systems in our body must be coordinated. It has to be coordinated to, why it has to be coordinated? To maintain homeostasis. So that is the reason all over the organs in our body it has to be uh, coordinated to maintain homeostasis. Okay, coordination is nothing but this is the main definition of the coordination is the process through which two or more organs interact and complement the functions of the another. Okay, it has to be coordinated, working together. Coordination is nothing but the working togetherly. It has to be process. Like working together to achieve a common goal. So that is the actual general meaning of the coordination. So here the actual goal is the, okay, to whatever the main thing will be there, it has to be implemented in a particular way. The process through which are two more organs interact and complement the functions of one another. For example, when we do physical exercise, for example, do the any, it may be walking or jumping or skipping or whatever it may be. Okay, when we do physical exercise, the energy demand is increased automatically. Okay, increase for maintaining increased muscular activity, increased demand for oxygen necessities, and increase in the respiration, heartbeat, and oxygen blood flow, blood pressure. So when we do the physical, all those things automatically will demand one by one. Automatically they will increase in the demand. It may be rate of respiration, rate of heartbeat, rate of increased blood flow. Everything will be going on increasing. Okay. So when physical exercise is stopped, what will happen? The activities of nerves, lungs, heart, kidneys gradually return to the normal condition. When we walk, automatically it will going to increase the rate. When we'll stop our exercise, for example, we'll going on running, what will happen? Just close your eyes, just keep your hand over your chest area like a heart. Just close your eyes. Okay, it will happen, you will only heard the sounds that is called as a palpitations. Heart sounds will be, if you see the like a palpitations we will only listen, and next automatic the pulse rate also it's a very high. Okay, when we do the physical exercises, automatically the increase in demand of the oxygen flow, blood vessels automatically will flow. Okay, like a respiration rate, heart rate, automatically it will going on this. So when we will stop the like exercise, automatically everything will be, it will going it will be return to the normal situations, normal conditions. Okay, thus the functions of muscles, lungs, heart, blood vessels, skin, and other organs are coordinated while performing physical exercises in our body. Neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinate and integrate all the activities of the organs so that they function in a synchronized fashion. So here the neural system as well as endocrine system jointly together to achieve all the activities in our body to function in a smooth way. Is You have got my point. So here the coordination is nothing but working together to achieve a common goal. So here the neural system as well as endocrine system jointly coordinated and integrated to all activities of the organs so that they function in a synchronized fashion. It's clear. Okay, so when we will do the exercise automatically, we are increasing demand of the heart rate, pulse rate, okay, our respiration rate, heartbeat, increase blood flow, everything it will be. When we will stop the exercises, automatically it will return to the normal conditions. So as well as here the neural system as well as the endocrine system will working togetherly, they will implement all the activities in a synchronized fashion. Okay, and one more is the neural system provides an organized network of point to connections for a quick coordination. So here the neural system, nervous system provides an organized network. Systematically way it will organize the network of point to point connections for a quick coordination. So here the mechanisms of the neural coordination like a transmission of the nerve impulse, conduction across the synapse, or physiology of reflex action, and also respiration. Sensory receptions is all if we see the organs of the human body, eye, ear, and this we will see one by one. Okay. So here if you see the human neural system, the human nervous system or human nervous system is consistent of the two parts. The first one is CNS, the second one is PNS. CNS is known as the central neural system as well. It's also called as a central nervous system. Central nervous system or central neural system. The human nervous system divided into two parts. Okay, you got my point. Human nervous system, how many partitions will be there? The human nervous system, the human neural system is divided into two parts. The first one is the central nervous system, or otherwise it is also called a central neural system, and one more the peripheral nervous system or peripheral neural system. Okay, first we is moving on to the CNS, central nervous system or central neural system. The central nervous system includes the brain as well as the spinal cord. Okay, so this is overall spinal brain, and next continuation is the neck of the then head of the neck. It is starting point is the central nervous system. It's clear. So this is the brain. The neck point of the brain is called as the spine. Starting this is the spinal cord. Okay, chorda equina chorda. So starting to ending. Okay. So this is the brain. This one starting like will be there in the back of the is called as central nervous system. Okay. See the brain as well as the spinal cord. It develops from the new rectoderm. Okay. First we will see about the brain. Okay. Brain it is also called as a living supercomputer. Brain also it is called as living supercomputer. It is site of formation. It is a site of information processing and controlling. So the brain is the site of sending the information, processing the information, and controlling the information at the site of the brain. Okay, site of information processing and controlling. Not only getting the information, not only processing, it will also give you the feedback to the so where she is getting the information, same thing she has to give the feedback to the particular area. Okay, receiving impulses, giving the feedback to the impulses. Okay, it's receiving information, giving the feedback to the impulses also. Okay, it is mainly protected to the cranial cavity and covered by three connective tissue membranes called cranial meninges. Okay, it is mainly protected in the cranial cavity. So this is in the cranial cavity the brain will be located in safe way. Okay, the cranial cavity, the brain is protected. Where it is protected, the brain in cranial cavity and covered by three connective tissue membranes called cranial meninges. You got it my point here? So brain is protected in the cranial cavity. Okay, and second one is covered by three connective tissue membranes. So here the brain is covered by the three connective tissue membranes called cranial meninges, mainly dura mater, arachnoid matter, and pia mater. Okay, so there are the three matters will be there. With the help of the three connective tissue membranes only, the brain may be carefully located in the cranial cavity. The cavity is the cranial, but layers are the like a meninges, tissue membranes. The tissue membrane is called as a meninges. Okay, dura mater, arachnoid matter, and pia mater. So if you see that dura mater is the outermost tissue membrane, arachnoid is the middle membrane, and pia mater is the innermost membrane. There are the three connective tissue membranes will be there. No, so first one is the dura mater. No, so dura mater is what we are told. Dura mater is the outermost outermost thick double layer membrane which lines the inner surface of the cranial cavity. Okay, so dura mater is the outermost thick doubled layer membrane which lines the inner surface of the cranial cavity. Next, arachnoid matter is the webby middle membrane covering the brain, and pia mater is the innermost meninx which closely it is in this pia mater only mainly closely attached to the brain. The pia mater is separated from the arachnoid matter by the subarachnoid space. Here it will be separated from the one arachnoid membrane. It is called as a subarachnoid space. The brain can be divided into three major parts: forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. If you see the brain is the site of information processing and control. This is the main function of the brain. Okay, it's the site of sending the information, receiving the information, processing the information, and controlling over the information over the brain. This is the first one. Second one is it's mainly the brain is like a protected in the cranial cavity and covered by three connective tissue membranes. Those are all called the dura mater, arachnoid matter, and pia mater. Dura mater is the outermost layer, like arachnoid matter is the middle layer, connective tissue membrane. Pia mater is the innermost. Okay, dura mater is outermost, arachnoid matter is the middle layer, connective tissue membrane. Pia mater is the innermost membrane. Okay, so here again it's separated from the arachnoid space will be, that is called as again the pia mater is separated from the arachnoid membrane. It is called by the arachnoid space. Okay, and this is the innermost membrane will be there. No, pia mater. This pia mater only mainly closely attached to the brain. Okay. Okay, next the brain is divided into three major parts. Okay, first forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. These are the three main. The brain is mainly divided into three partitions: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Okay. First of all, if you see the forebrain, four is nothing but the middle portion. Sorry, starting front portion. Okay, forebrain. This is also called the frozen encephalon. So called prosencephalon. Okay, the forebrain consisting of the here if you see the three will be there. The forebrain consisting of the olfactory bulb, cerebrum, and diencephalon. Proencephalon, prosencephalon. Okay, forebrain also called as a prosencephalon. This consisting of the three, okay, olfactory bulb and cerebrum and diencephalon. Okay, so if you see the olfactory bulb, first one, this olfactory bulb, what is the main function of the olfactory bulb? It will receive the impulses pertaining to the smell from the olfactory epithelium will be there. Okay, connective tissue membranes will be there. No, I told no olfactory. In these four membranes there are three partitions will be there. Again it's having the olfactory bulb and cerebrum and diencephalon. Okay, this olfactory will receive the impulses pertaining to the related to the smell from the olfactory epithelium. Next one is cerebrum. So cerebrum forms a major part of the brain. Forms a major part of the brain. Okay, so major part of the brain is formed by the cerebrum only. Okay, this is longitudinal divided into left and right cerebrum. This is left and right cerebral hemispheres by deep cleft called longitudinal fissures. Okay, so the major portion of the brain is called as a cerebrum. It's divided into left and right cerebral hemispheres. Okay, by a deep cleft it's called as a longitudinal fissure, and the true hemispheres internally connected by a transverse wide and flat bundle of myelin fibers beneath the cortex called corpus callosum. Okay, coordination between the right and left sides of the cerebral sperm. The surface of the cerebrum is composed with gray matter. It called as cerebral cortex. Okay, neural cell bodies are concentrated in the neural cerebral cortex. Okay, in this we will see that like a foldings will be there. These folds are called gyri. Okay, deepest or shallow grooves between the folds are called fisheries and sulci. Okay, the gyri and sulci increase the surface area of the cerebral cortex, indication of the higher level evolution of the human being. Okay, this is the, you can see the like a gyri and sulci will be there. Okay, in this also the cerebral cortex has the three functional areas called sensory areas. Okay, it will receive and interpret the sensory impulses, and motor areas. Motor areas are mainly the cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex is nothing but here the like a neuronal cell bodies are concentrated in the cerebral cortex. In cerebral cortex, there are three functional areas will be there. Sensory area. Sensory is nothing but mainly it will give the sensory impulses. Motor is not the voluntary muscular movements like sitting, standing, walking, running, jumping, and everything is related to the motor areas, which control voluntary muscular movements. Next, association areas, which are neither clearly sensory nor motor in function, which deal with the more complex integrated functions such as memory and communication. So this association like a may be related to the memory as well as the communication. Okay, the cerebral medulla consisting of the closely magnetic axons, white matter and gray matter. Okay, is a cerebral hemisphere of the cerebrum is divided into four lobes, mainly frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe. Okay, here the cerebral hemispheres of the cerebrum is divided into four lobes. This is the frontal, this is the parietal, this is the temporal, this is the frontal, this is the frontal. Next one is this is the parietal, this is the temporal, back one is the occipital lobes. So it's clear. So this is we'll see then like a forebrain consisting of the olfactory bulb, cerebrum, and diencephalon. The olfactory bulb receives the impulses related to the smell. Cerebrum, it will form the major part of the brain. Okay, it will form the lamp between fisheries and corpus callosum. Cerebral cortex, it will form the, okay, in the mainly the cerebrum only form the lobes mainly. This is frontal lobes, this parietal lobes, this is a temporal lobes, this is a temporal lobes, this is a parietal lobes, this is a parietal lobes, this is a occipital lobes will form. Okay, next one the diencephalon, this thala, okay, thala encephalon. The main parts of the diencephalon are the three will be there like a epithalamus, thalamus, and hypothalamus. Okay, here we can also see the epithalamus. Epithalamus is the root of the diencephalon, the non-nervous part which is fused with the pia mater to the form the anterior coronal plexus. Okay, and next to thalamus. This is the superior. No need of you can write explanation, but superficially you have to know about the what is what is what, you have to know it. Okay, thalamus, it is lies superior to the midbrain. It's a major coordinating center for sensory and motor signaling. Okay, and next one is hypothalamus. Hypothalamus also we can call as a thermostat of the body. So here the thermostat of the body in our human beings, the mostly it will control the temperature of the human body. Okay, control over the temperature. That is the reason we are calling it the thermostat of the body. Okay, our regulations, thermoregulations, it will mainly depend influenced by the hypothalamus, mainly hemostatic of the temperature regulations will be controlled by the hypothalamus. That is the reason we are calling as the hypothalamus is the thermostat of the body. Okay, like a pituitary gland, and it contains several groups of neurosecretory cells like which secrete here hormones called hypothalamic hormones. Hypothalamus controls and integrates activities of the autonomic nervous system. It has a osmoregularity, thermoregularity, thirst, feeding, cells, and everything it will control over the hypothalamus. Okay, Next, coming to the limbic system. The limbic system is consisting of the cerebral hemispheres and a group of associated deep structures like amygdala, hippocampus, and the limbic system is involved in the regulation of the sexual behavior and expression of emotional reactions and responses. Not only nervous system, the limbic system also mainly it involved in the regulation of the sexual behavior, expression of the emotional reactions and responses, mainly controlled over by the limbic system. It's clear. Next, midbrain. Midbrain. Okay, mesencephalon. The midbrain is located between the thalamus, hypothalamus, forebrain, and the pons valually have the hindbrain. The ventral portion of the midbrain consists of a pair of lateral bands of the nervous system called cerebral peduncles and the crura cerebri. Okay, so this is the. So next one is the hindbrain. The hindbrain mainly comprises the cerebellum, pons valuoli, and medulla oblongata. So forebrain is what is what. Next one is the midbrain. The midbrain is the mesencephalon. Next one is the hindbrain. The hindbrain comprises the cerebellum, pons valuoli, and medulla oblongata. Okay, the cerebellum is the little brain. Okay, the cerebellum is the major portion of the brain is the cerebrum, but is the cerebellum is the little brain. It is the second largest part of the brain. Okay, the consisting of the two cerebral hemispheres and ventral hemisphere. Each cerebral hemisphere consisting of the three lobes, namely anterior, posterior, fecaliar lobes. Okay, it has a branching tree like core of white matter called arboretum, the tree of life, surrounded by sheet of grey matter, cerebral cortex. Okay, the cerebellum is called the little brain. The second largest part of the brain called as a cerebellum. Okay, you got it. It is a branching of tree. Okay, the tree of life. Okay, it is called as a this tree of life surrounded by a sheath of grey matter called a cerebral cortex. Okay, cerebellum is responsible for the control and coordination locomotor movements. The cerebellum is called the gyroscope of the body because it maintains equilibrium. Damage to cerebellum often results in ataxia, uncoordinated voluntary muscle movements. If there any damage having to the cerebellum, there is no coordination to the voluntary muscle movements. It clear? Okay. So till now I discussed what I discussed like a introduction about the nervous system. Okay, two parts will be there. No, human nervous system consists of two parts. First one is the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. In central nervous system, like a brain, the brain is a living supercomputer. Brain is also called as a living supercomputer. Okay, in this how many in supercomputer, the brain is the site of the information processing and control. Okay, and it will mainly protected by the cranial cavity and covering the connective tissue membranes called the dura mater. Okay, arachnoid matter and pia mater. Dura mater is the outermost layer, thin thick layer, and arachnoid matter is the middle layer, and next one is the pia matter is the inner layer, innermost layer. Okay, and next one is here the brain can be divided into three major parts. First one is the Nachtoli layer. Nachtoli it will be protected by the cranial cavity. The brain also having the three partitions like a forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Okay, forebrain is also okay. Proencephalon. The forebrain is also having the a olfactory bulb, cerebrum, diencephalon. There are some partitions will be there in forebrain also. Olfactory is main responsible for the receiving the impulses is mainly related to the smell. Next one is cerebrum. Cerebrum is mainly major portion is formed by the cerebrum mainly forms a larger major portion of the brain. Okay, next in this also it's a mainly it will have the some of the lobes like a frontal lobe, parietal lobe, okay, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe also formed in the major portion of the cerebrum only. Okay, next one is the some of the areas will be there like three functional areas like sensory areas, motor areas, association areas. Okay, the cerebral cortex has the three functional areas. I mean, sensory is nothing but the a sensory impulses. It's taste, cell, and everything. Like motor areas like a standing, sitting, motor, muscular movements. Okay, and next one the associations may relate to the memory and communication. Next, diencephalon. This again is three partitions will be the epithalamus, thalamus, and hypothalamus. Epithalamus the root of the diencephalon. This is one of the root of the Root of the diencephalon, it's a non-nervous part of which is fused in the pia mater to form the anterior coronoid plexus. It's not non-nervous system. Okay, next to thalamus. Thalamus is the superior to the midbrain. It is superior to the midbrain. Next one, hypothalamus mainly maintain the temperature regulation. That is the reason we are calling as a thermostat of the body, mainly controlled by the hypothalamus. Okay. Next one is the limbic system. Limbic system is mainly responsible for the sexual behavior, emotional responses, and reactions. Okay, next one is the midbrain. In midbrain, so mainly the midbrain is located between the thalamus and hypothalamus of the forebrain and pons varola of the hindbrain. Okay, the midbrain is mainly located between the thalamus, hypothalamus of the forebrain and pons varoli of the hindbrain. Okay, and next one is the hindbrain. Hindbrain is the comprises cerebellum, pons varola, and medulla oblongata. Okay, this is the cerebellum is also called as the little brain. This is the second largest part of the brain. Okay, in this also cerebral hemispheres and central vermis will be there. In this also it has a branching. The cerebellum is the little brain. It has a branch of a tree. It is mainly covered, surrounded by sheath of grey matter. This is called as a cerebral cortex. Okay. Okay, next pons varola. Pons it lies the front of the cerebellum below the midbrain and above the medulla oblongata, consisting of the nerve fibers which forms a bridge between the two cerebral hemispheres. Okay, if you see the diagram of the section of the human brain. Okay, medulla oblongata is the posterior most part of the brain. Posterior part of the medulla oblongata. Okay. It extends from the pons varola above, continues with the spinal cord below. It has a very thin vascular polar structure called posterior coracoid flexus. Medulla includes folders cardiovascular. The medulla includes cardiovascular and respiratory centers and centers for swallowing, vomiting, coughing, sneezing, hipping. Okay, and midbrain, pons varola oblongata are together to form as a brainstem. Okay, with the help of the pons and medulla oblongata are togetherly form the brainstem. Okay, so with the help of the pons and medulla oblongata are formed together to form a brainstem. The medulla oblongata passes out of the cranium through the foramen magnum and joins the spinal cord. Okay, the medulla oblongata passes out of the cranium through the foramen magnum and joins the spinal cord. Okay, this is the medulla oblongata information. Next one is the ventricles of the human. If you see the human brain consisting of the four ventricles, the first and second ventricles, lateral ventricles are varisoles, are present in the right and left cerebral hemispheres respectively. So here the human brain consisting of the human ventricles, four ventricles will be there. The first and second ventricles called as lateral ventricles. Okay, it's present in the right and left cerebral hemispheres respectively. Okay, next third ventricles occurs in the diencephalon. The two parasols are connected to the median diastole individual by the two foramen interventricular foramen. Okay, the fourth ventricular myocele is present in the medulla. Okay, the myocele and the diastole are connected by a narrow canal called Aetera aqueduct of Salicious cerebral aqueduct. The myocele is continuous with the central canal of the spinal cord. Okay, there are the ventricles of the brain. The cerebral space are filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, the ventricles of the brain, the subarachnoid space are. So here you have to imagine. This is a very important point. So here how the CSF formed. So here the ventricles of the brain and the subarachnoid space are filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. Ventricles of the brain and subarachnoid space are filled with the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. It is an alkaline, colorless fluid which is filtered from the choroid fluxes in the ventricles of the brain. This is, you have to keep it in mind how the how the cerebral spinal fluid formed. Okay, here the ventricles of the brain and subarachnoid space are filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. It's an alkaline, colorless fluid which is filtered from the choroid plexus into the ventricles of the brain. Okay, the CSF serves as a shock absorbing medium. The CF is recycled 4 times per day in order to clear out metabolites and toxins in our body. Okay, there are the how many ventricles are there? There are 4 ventricles are the first and second ventricles, lateral ventricles. Okay, third ventricle diastole occurs in the diencephalon. Okay, and fourth ventricle, the myocele, is present in the medulla. Okay, so we'll see that this is the ventricles of the human brain. Okay, ventricle hemisphere, cerebrium, corpus callosum, medulla, cerebral aqueduct, thalamus, hypothalamus, pons, varoli, cerebrum, medulla oblongata. This is the medulla oblongata shape will be there, no? Brain stem. Okay, brain stem. Okay, medulla oblongata, medulla oblongata and pons formally togetherly form the medulla oblongata. Okay. Okay, next coming to the spinal cord. The brain is over. Next coming to the spinal cord. Okay, the central nervous system consisting of the first brain, second one the spinal cord. Okay, we will discuss briefly about the like a brain, the forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain, and ventricles, everything. No. So next we will moving on to the spinal cord. The spinal cord is located in the vertebral canal of this vertebral column. Okay, the spinal cord is located in the vertebral column of the vertebral column. Okay, it is mainly protected by the bony arch of each vertebrate and the 3 spinal meninges called dura mater, arachnoid mater, and pia mater. You got it? Okay, it's this is only located in the vertebral canal. The spinal cord is located in the vertebral canal of the vertebral column. Okay, it's mainly protected by the bony arch of the each vertebrae and 3 spinal meninges called dura mater, arachnoid mater, pia mater. Okay, in the hand it extends from the middle oblongate to the superior border of the second lumbar vertebrae. It has 2 cuspous enlargements: superior enlargement called cervical enlargement and inferior enlargement called lumbar enlargement. The spinal cord is divided into right and left halves of the 2 grooves, namely anterior median fissure and median sulcus. Okay, this is the internal anatomy of the spinal cord shows H-shaped or butterfly shaped center area of the gray matter surrounded by the outer white matter. If you see the like you see, so here the outer matter is surrounded by the gray matter is surrounded by the white matter. So dorsal horn will be the shape of the this one is the HR butterfly shape of the will be there. Okay, central canal, dorsal root of the spinal nerve, dorsal root, ganglion, spinal nerve, ventral root of the spinal nerve, ventral horn. So everything will be there. Okay, the spinal cord internal anatomy of the spinal cord shows H-shaped or butterfly shaped. Okay, here the central area of the gray matter is mainly surrounded by the outer white matter. Okay, the gray matter is mainly composed of cell bodies, neuralgia, dendrites, and unmyelinated axons, and it's surrounded a narrow longitudinal cavity called central canal. Okay, fourth ventricle of the spinal nucleus, which is a continuation of the fourth ventricle that the brain is lined by the endocrine epithelium. Okay, next if you see the white matter consisting of the bundles of the myelinated axons, and it is organized into regions called anterior funiculus, posterior funiculus, and lateral funiculus, one on each one. The spinal cord acts as a coordinating center for simple spinal reflexes. It also acts as a middleman between the receptors and the effectors, as it is conducts sensory and motor impulses to and from the brain. So the main function of the central nervous system spinal cord is the it will act as a middleman. Okay, here the spinal cord it act as a middleman between the receptors and effectors, as it conducts sensory and motor impulses to and and from the brain. Okay, next coming to peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system associated with the brain, cranial nerves and spinal cord, spinal nerves. Okay, the cranial nerves will be there at the brain, and spinal nerves will be there at the spinal cord. Okay, the spinal cord neural system consisting associated with the like a brain. In the brain, cranial nerves will be there. In spinal cord, spinal nerves will be there. Okay, let me see one by one. Just I will go through the how many nerves will be there. Like if you see the brain in the brain, cranial nerves will be there. See, the nerves that are associated with the brain are called cranial nerves. They are enter or emerge out of the cranium with different foramen. There are 12 pairs in man. Okay, there are three types, namely sensory and motor and mixed nerves. Okay, in that brain also cranial nerves will be there. Again, it's functionally their function is different. So according to their function, there are three types of the functions will nerves will be there, like a sensory nerves, motor nerves and mixed nerves. Okay, so first we'll see the olfactory. How many are there? 12. Then olfactory nerve, optic nerve, oculomotor, trochlear, trigeminal, abducens, facial nerve, vestibulocochlear, okay, glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay, these are all the things will be there. Just you have to keep in mind what are the cranial nerves will be there. It's mainly related to the brain. Okay, now how many are there? 12 I told. Now first one is oculomotor, optic, oculomotor, trigeminal, cochlear, abducens, facial nerve, vestibulocochlear. Okay, and next vagus nerve. Okay, spinal accessory or accessory nerve and hypoglossal. These are the 12 pairs of the cranial nerves will be there, but it's maybe like a different like a sensory. Okay, and functions will be there. Okay, okay, next come the spinal nerves. In the spinal nerves are formed by the union of dorsal and ventral roots soon after they leave the spinal cord. Okay, first is the union of the dorsal and ventral roots soon after they leave the spinal cord. The first pair of cervical spinal nerves emerges between the atlas and occipital bone of the cranium. So here the first one is the atlas and occipital bone of the cranium. All other spinal nerves emerge from the vertebral column through the intervertebral foramen between the okay, and joining vertebrae there are 31 pairs. So here the cranial nerves 12 pairs will be there. If you see the spinal nerves 31 pairs will be there. Okay, cranial nerves how many are there in the brain? 12 pairs will be there. But if you see the spinal nerves 31 pairs will be there. So if you again it's classified into 5 groups. First one is according to their location, the spinal nerves will be divided into 5 groups. First one is cervical 8 pairs, thoracic 12 pairs, lumbar 5 pairs, sacral 5 pairs, coccygeal and caudal 1 pair. So the overall 31 pairs will be there. So once again I repeat the spinal nerves according to their location. It's divided into 5 groups. First one is the cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, coccygeal. Okay, cervical how many pairs are there in cervical? 8 pairs. Thoracic 12 pairs. Okay, this is the cervical. Okay, this is the cervical. Neck of the region will be this called as cervical. In cervical 8 pairs will be there. Next one the thoracic chest area. In chest region 12 pairs will be the next coming to the near the back of the abdomen. Lumbar 5 pairs will be the next back side waist level. Waist is the sacral 5 pairs will be there. Okay, coccygeal caudal 1 pair will be there. Okay, cervical 8, thoracic 12, lumbar 5. Okay, next sacral 5, coccygeal or caudal 1. Okay, before emerging out from the intervertebral foramen, the lumbar, sacral and caudal nerves extend back along with the phylum terminal, forming a thick bundle of nerves called quada equina. Okay, ending of the point is known as a quada equina. Okay, certain spinal nerves are joined to form networks called plexus on either side. Okay, there are cervical plexus, brachial plexus, okay, lumbar plexus, sacral plexus, coccygeal plexus. Okay, these are all things will be there. Okay, also joined to form network called plexus on either side. There are the cervical plexus, first to fourth cervical nerves, brachial plexus, fifth to eighth cervical and first thoracic nerves are lumbar plexus, L1, L2, L3 and L4 lumbar nerves. Next sacral plexus branches of L4, L5 and cervical, S1, S2 and S3 nerves. And coccygeal plexus part of fourth and fifth sacral and coccygeal. Okay, functionally the PNS and the peripheral nervous system is divided into two divisions called somatic and automatic neural systems. Okay, so no need of everything. Just superficial. I want to give the brief introduction about the nervous system. Okay, how many nerves will be there? How many central nervous system parts of the brain, like a forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. Only this. I think this videos may be helpful for this who are watching my channel. Okay, thanks for watching my channel. Have a nice day. Okay, thanks for watching my channel.